Welcome to PG Department of Computer Science. My name is Muthu Sowmiya. I am Assistant Professor of Computer Science. Today I am going to discuss about the topic as Java OOPS concept. The topics we are going to cover on follows. We will look at what is object-oriented programming in Java, and we will look at advantages and disadvantages of OOPS. Finally, the concept of object-oriented programming. So let's begin. What is object-oriented programming? So object-oriented programming refers to programming methodology based on object instead of just functions or procedure. And object-oriented programming, or OOP, is widely used programming language and almost all the language programming except C language. Objects are identify the model system and designed to interact with each other. Let's see what are the advantages of OOPS. Reusability. It means reusing some facility rather than building it again and again. Data redundancy, which means if user want to similar functionality in multiple classes, he or she can go ahead by writing common classes of definition for similar functionality and inherit them. Code maintenance, security, design benefits, and better productivity. So next we will see, list out object-oriented programming disadvantages. Size. It means object-oriented programs are much larger than other programs. Effort. Effort is nothing but that object-oriented program require a lot of work and create. Then speed. Object-oriented programming are slower than other program partially because of their size. Then we are going to discuss about concept of object-oriented programming. The various concepts of object-oriented programming are object, class, abstraction, encapsulations, inheritance, and polymorphism with a real-life example. So let us see the concept of one by one. So first one is object. What is meant by object? Object is a real-world existing entity. It means something it's related to real existing world. Object is used to invoke the member of the class. That is, the class consists of two properties, data and method. So these two properties can be used or invoked with help of objects. So whatever thing we are seeing in the world, that can be treated as an object. So this is the real world entity. So in other words, it can be said the class consists of collection of properties. Class is a user-defined data type. We known as inbuilt data types such as indicate, character, and float. So the real example of object is key. As we know, the car is considered as a class as it has collection of properties. So all these properties can be activated only through the key. So similarly, the class can be activated or the member of class can be used only through the object. So next topic is class. Class is a blueprint. It means it can be considered as a blueprint using which is object or created. Class is similar to a container where we can keep collection of properties. This property is also known as a member of the class. So next one, similarly, user can create their own data type. Such data type is called as a user-defined data type. The class consists of collection of properties and the properties can be data and method. So these two properties, data and method, are connectively known as a class. So let us see, considering the following of example to understand the concept of class well. So this oval shape of circle can be considered as a class. So as we have discussed to earlier, that class consists of two properties. One is data and another one is method. So data and method together to called as a class. So the real-time example for the class is car. The car is consist of collection of properties such as brake, window, mirror, seat, and etc. So all these properties together name as a car. So similarly, the data and method are connectively called as a class. So next one is abstract. A class that is declared using abstract keyword is known as a abstract class. It is showing only essential part, hiding the implementation of details. The best example for Android application. If you download an Android application for the Play Store, so we will get APK file, or you can download the software, we can got the exe file, and you can run the exe file, you can get the software, or you can run the software. But here we can't see the package or method or functions which are used to create a exe file. That means all the implementation part is hide, only essential part is visible, right? So next concept is encapsulations, the wrapping up of the data and methods into a single unit. It's known as a encapsulations. So encapsulations means it is a concept of class wrapping up of the data and method to a single unit. Encapsulations is the most useful features of a class. So it can be leads to concept of data binding. So this means binding variables and methods and single entity. The encapsulations concept can be understood from the concept of capsule. As we know, the capsule consists of medicine which is hidden from external access. So this capsule also can be considered concept of encapsulations for the data hiding. Next concept is inheritance. Inheritance is a process of creating new class from an existing class. So this inheritance topic, if online I would explain to what is inheritance. So inheritance means reusability. Sometimes you will get the portion in the question paper, what is reusability? So the reusability means inheritance. Okay, so it's giving feasibility of reuse the code. Here, if I am talking about the programming, in programming inheritance is using for reusing the code. And suppose today you have read the code, so after some time you need the code, so what will you do that time? You will not retype the code, but you can take the feasibility of oops, that is inheritance. So you can extend the class the time we wrote to write the code again. So this means you are using the code which you have already created. So this is basic meaning of inheritance. Inheritance is a process of creating new class from existing class, which means we are deriving or creating a new class from existing class. The classes which is already available. So considering the following of class A, from a class A deriving a new class called B, which means the class A name as a called base class, and class derived from the class A is called as a derived class. So inheritance leads to the concept of reusability. So which means the features of base class can be reused in the derived class without modifying it. So assume that the base class consists of 1000 lines of code, and if you want used this same 100 lines of code in derived class through the concept of inheritance, we can use it directly without rewriting the same 100 lines of code in the derived class. This is the concept of reusability, which means the main advantages of inheritance. The various types of inheritance are single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. So let us see the basic introductions then. We will move on by one, right? So we will see the one by the one concept in depth. Now this section, let us cover an intro of all this OOPS concept. So we can have this 5 types of inheritance: single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. This is called as a inheritance concept. the last one is polymorphism. Polymorphism means it has been the ability to take more than form, which means a single unit or single method or single portion can act more than one form. This is known as a polymorphism. So it is Greek term. Poly means more than one. Morphism means different form. That a single unit takes known as a polymorphism. So I give an example, duck. If you are taking about a duck in cricket, so they are different means of duck. That means any player get out or zero, that is meaning of duck is in the cricket. But generally meaning, if you are asking to about the duck, so duck is meaning is that is a word. So mean that one word has a different meaning. That is called a polymorphism. For another example, we have graphical object known as a shape. It consists of method called a draw. We have another object known as a circle. To draw a circle, also we need a method of called draw. And similarly, we have another graphical object known as a square. To square, also we needed to method of called a draw. And similarly, rectangle, for a rectangle also we need a method of draw. And so, only one method we have to use a name method of draw, and same draw method can be used for various purpose. So, when they use the draw method or drawing a circle, it acts as drawing a circle. When you use the same draw method for drawing a square, it acts as to square. When use the same draw method to drawing a rectangle, it is access to a square, which means the same method is used for different purposes. So draw the method take a different form depending upon the situation. So this concept is known as a polymorphism. In this preview, let's see the conclusions. What is OOP? Advantages and disadvantages of OOP. Finally, Java OOP's concept. I think it will be clear to you. Thank you.